Good evening and welcome to Dublin Airport. I'm going to be taking the EasyJet A320 that you can see on a flight this evening from Dublin Airport to Manchester. So inside the cockpit this evening you can see that we're a cold and dark situation. So we'll go up to the overhead panel and I'll switch the two batteries on. And then I'll come down to the computer, the tablet, and switch the ground power unit on. Back up to the overhead panel and we'll select external power. And as you can see, the overhead panel comes to life. We'll also select nav 1, nav 2 and nav 3 into a line mode. You need to put some lights on as well. So first of all we'll select the crew oxygen supply and arm the emergency exit lights. Seatbelt signs and no smoking signs are both on. I'm going to switch the navigation lights and the wing lights on. Put the strobe into automatic, and we don't need any taxi lights or landing lights at this stage. So we'll go back down into the captain's seat and we can see that the systems are in a pre-boot up mode. I've now pre-programmed the flight plan into the MCDU, main computer control display unit. This evening we're going to depart on runway 28 from Dublin and hopefully arrive in Manchester on runway 23 right, ILS 23 right. I've programmed into the system just now. So all that needs to be done is we come to the overhead panel and I've selected APU bleed and APU is on, auxiliary power units on, and select the fuel pumps to on. I'm now ready to start the pushback, so we'll release the parking brake and the pushback will begin. So now I'm going to start engine number 2. And monitor the startup. N2 is beginning to rise. N1. To our left. Just turn the co-pilot's display unit on. And engine number 2 is now available, so I'll select engine start for number 1. Aer Lingus A319 or 320 taxiing out now. Good start on engine number 1, so we'll come back down, select normal, go back up to the overhead panel and switch the APU master off and the APU bleed off. Switch the taxi lights on, landing lights into preparation mode. We'll check to see if the cabin is secure.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
So the tug driver's ready for it to set parking brake, and he'll disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
I've selected maximum for the automatic braking, takeoff. We'll disconnect the tug. Full and free movement of the controls.
So it's disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, show me the pin. And that's the pin, thank you sir. Now we've got two blue memos, flat set for takeoff, which we'll just set now, and then a configuration test once the flaps have settled down. The configuration test is down here. Test, no blue. So we're now ready for taxi to runway 28. Release the parking brake and increase the power. Auto brake is set to max. Test configuration again, it's telling me. And configuration's back to normal. So everything looks okay. Little screw head here represents the nose wheel. It's in direct alignment with the nose wheel, so we'll try and follow the taxi line out to runway 28. Not using air traffic control today. Fairly pleasant evening in Dublin. Little low cloud. Can the passengers see? As we approach runway, I'll switch the takeoff lights on.
Approaching runways.
I'm going to line up with runway 28.
On runway 28.
And then I'm going to come to a complete stop and increase the throttles to around about 50% before we release the brakes. So we're all ready for takeoff. That's 50%. V1, rotate, positive for 8, gear up, Engage the autopilot. What can we see from inside the cabin? Now we're above spoiler speed there, as you can see we're above the S, so I'll retract the spoilers. And we need to be in lever climb. I've just been cleared up to 20,000 feet. I will select open climb. Visibility is not great this evening. We're just about to start a right hand turn on our Liffey 5 Alpha departure. I'm going to set the Q&A to standard now, 1013, and there's the right hand turn. Back inside the cabin. We'll have a look outside. De-arm the spoilers now. I can turn the seatbelt signs off. Okay, you can join me a little bit later on in the flight. Welcome back. You join me as we've started the descent. We look at the navigational display. You can see that we're approximately 43 nautical miles from Malud. So I've started a descent down to 9,000 feet. That's where we'll reach it just beyond Wallasey. Then we'll continue our descent towards Manchester towards the India November 10, which is approximately 10 miles from Manchester, and then we'll intercept, turn right and intercept the ILS for runway 23 right. Welcome back. You join me approximately 6 miles from our turning point there, which is the India November 10, which is 10 miles from Manchester Airport. As we approach the Pennines, you can see the hill range there. I'm going to switch on the terrain radar, which gives me a range of about 30 miles. If I increase the range a bit there, you'll see that it's limited to about 30 miles in radius. So it's showing me the pattern in green there at the Pennines. And we've started our turn now. It's showing me a strange circle there, which I'm not sure what it's trying to do, but however, we'll see. I'm going to select first stage of flap, slows down a little bit. Select autopilot 2. Got the ILS selected and the approach selected. And that's the two runways there, 23 right, 23 left. Glide slope is coming down nicely. Glide slope star, localizer star. Not established yet on the localizer, just about to become established now. If we look at the first officer's ND, navigational display, the beam bar is just coming across to join in the centre there. We're established on the glide slope. So established on the glide slope, I'm going to lower the landing gear and look for 3 greens. There's 1, 2, 3. We have been given clearance to land. I can turn the terrain radar off now. I select full flaps. Increase our altitude to 5,000 feet in the event we have to go around.
1,000.
Approaching 2, 3 right.
I'm going to let the autopilot take us down a bit further. Disconnect the autopilot.
Above 300. Minimum 200. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 20. 10. 5.
Unfortunately, there's a problem with the reversing system. With it, recovered from that. Take the flaps in, and we'll taxi off the runway. Now as we taxi off the runway, I can turn the APU on, switch the APU, get some auxiliary power. And believe it or not, the landing lights are on. I'll switch them off, leave the taxiway lights on, taxi light on, and we'll turn right onto taxiway Alpha. Turn the flight director off, the landing system off. Now we'll taxi down Bravo towards Terminal 3. Down the speed brake. Emirates 380 still here. Traffic Global aircraft landing there. Looks like Scandinavian 737. like it's fairly full this evening. Right over on the end here, nearly at stand 58. .57. Select the parking brake and then we can switch the engines off. This then reboots to the APU. Hope you enjoyed that. That's the end of the flight for this evening. Thank you so much for watching.